Welcome to the podcast, the second session, Avalokhana with Asha. So today we are actually continuing a conversation about introspection, or what we said as Atmavalokhana. We understood what is Atmavalokhana, what to do during Atmavalokhana, but at the end, Dr. Asha just gave us a thought and left it. Our body reacts for Atmavalokhana, and our body reacts in certain way for certain kinds of Atmavalokhana. So today we will understand in detail how our body talks during introspection, because introspection is not that can be understood in a manual or can be understood seeing a video. It is experienced and our body experiences it too. So Dr. Asha, we have set the stage how body talks during introspection. Can you give us a detailed understanding how our body responds while we are introspecting, and how do we deal with it?
Okay. To explain this, I would like to bring art therapy as a source element. If you take an A4 sheet of paper and fold it into three, part 1, part 2 and part 3. In art therapy, we say the first part is the thinking slot, and the second part is the emotional process, and the third is the action. In our body also, if you can divide the body into three, okay, till shoulders is part 1, and till the thigh it is part 2, and below the thigh is the part 3. If you are having pain in any of these three parts, it's associated with thinking, feeling and action.
Okay.
If your introspection is disturbing your thoughts, or if your thought itself is disturbing other thoughts.
Okay.
Right? Say that there is some experience that that made you feel awkward in your college. You'll come back home. So next day there are certain thoughts that get generated, which is natural. I have to get ready, which is the earring I wear, which is the dress I'm going to wear. But this thought is disturbing all of this. I don't have mood to even select my dress. I don't want to go to college. And there is some imagination happening. If I go to college, again the same thing happens. How do I handle it? You know?
It's like a domino effect.
Yes. So what happens? Somebody is calling me. I don't know. I am in my own world. I'm not listening. And I'm opening the fridge and looking at, why did I really open the fridge? For what? I forget. Absence of mind. I'll go there. I don't even carry my key. Half the way through college, I realized that I am not even aware of the road. Right? So the part 1 is getting affected. My shoulder pain, if it is a pain response, all this will be like shoulder pain, pain near the ear lobes, and the shrinking of eye sockets pain, migraine, sinusitis, immunity issues, not able to get the instructions easily, grasping issues, all this slowly develops. Say that our emotional processing doesn't happen during introspection. There are certain kinds of emotions that erupt like volcano. I'm not able to realize it, and I'm going to displace it through my frustration on somebody or irritability. So I'm not going to resolve it. So this gangrene is going to create lot of tension in my cardiac muscles. I don't know I have chest pain, but it's doctors are telling your lipid profile is completely perfect. I don't realize why chest pain. I hold my thing and walk. I'm not able to stand straight. My back is aching. I'm not. My metabolism has become very weak. I don't realize why. I have really become sensitive to food, appetite, sleep. Lot of things have got changed.
Okay.
Here we have to think that introspection has created certain tension on my emotional body.
Okay.
Say that I become fatigue. I don't want to get up in the morning. I don't even want to walk and take a glass of water.
Early in the morning.
Yes, I become totally fatigued. And I experience moodiness in my activities. Daily routine itself will become difficult. And I don't want to move. The complete locomotion is irritating me. Okay, I get irritated if somebody is walking fast in front of me. I can't even see them doing that. You know, knee pain, ankle issues, plantar fasciitis, so many other aspects related to below thigh issues, calf muscles, cramps, you name it.
Okay.
And it's all when introspection is forcing you to act and you don't want to, can create sluggishness in the whole body, especially with two legs and feet.
So, from what you said, we understand that our body has its own mind.
Yeah.
It's not the mind with we talk, but the body has its own mind and it operates independently at one level. We might feed the thoughts or we might feed the emotions, but the way it responds on its own will make it a tool in itself, right? The body as a tool. But nowadays what we see is that tool is being manipulated in multiple ways, you know. We see people wearing certain ornaments or accessories to accelerate introspection, accelerate the energy fields within our body and around our body. What is your opinion and how do we understand that? Does those things really work for introspection and energy manipulation?
There are certain things in our tradition like using the metals on the body. Which metal has to go on the body like silver and gold. And we have never seen people wearing in those days. Now people do because lack of understanding of how metal can affect our thoughts, feelings and actions. Like below the waist were all silver. Silver anklets, silver rings and all that. But it was a gold ring and gold jewelry. So the upward movement of energy and downward movement of energy were well calculated, keeping Ashtadhatus in mind. The frequency or the vibration that gold creates and the frequency, the vibration the silver creates, that is being kept in mind to calm down and engage the whole body and mind productively. These were categorized as lunar energy and solar energy.
Okay.
That is why we never used to see people wearing gold anklet. Now it is becoming more fancy that people are wearing metals without having the knowledge how it can affect our body. So upper body, when it is touched to gold, releases solar energy. That fatigueness and having that stubbornness, rigidity, you know, and self-castigation, self-harming thoughts gets naturally, it gets healed.
Okay.
And the moon aspects, that is having wavering mind, fickle in the mindset, and the mindset being over creative and not being in reality, so the actions get settled with reality concepts.
Okay.
It is so natural. So yeah, as you rightly said, there are certain things unknowingly having very little knowledge people do advise, especially I see people wearing black thread on the left leg. So when you bring science, black is an absorbing body. Right?
In nature.
Yes. So when you take black thread and put it across your leg, wherever it go, it absorbs all kind of energy, whether it is positive or negative. Okay, so black is not something that take away drishti or take away the negative energy out of the thing, but it also absorbs positive along with negative also.
Okay.
So when you specially wear it to the left side of the body, right side of the brain gets affected. That is, you will not be able to generate solution for your entire life. You know, and I see people using colors also. You know, I see color psychology. This is the pain I am having. Take orange and put it on my finger, or But what happens to the mental body is something has to be calculated. If I am putting orange here, my swadhisthana will gets affected. If I am putting red, my muladhara gets affected. What if I am having a overactive chakra? If it is underactive, fine. What if I am having overactive chakra?
It becomes even
just looking at the physical symptoms, we cannot advise people with all this. This is a very sensitive science, has to be handled unless until I understand the person, his background, his childhood, his mindset. And there is a beautiful theory from Shiva Siddhanta which speaks about Pati, Pashu and Pasha. These are the three concepts, that is three textures of ego and three textures of mindset that we operate, and our actions just flow through that.
Okay.
Pati is not husband here, okay, because Sanskrit has a lot of meanings in different contexts. Here Pati is the superlative degree of knowing me.
Sense of supremacy.
Yes. So if my thoughts are walking through that, I will give my life to prove my point. I will even stand against my introspection. You can't introspect like this.
Okay.
You are a professor. Yes, you are a professor. How can you give up like this in your life? So I will argue within. So the internal dialogue will be argument.
Okay.
So I will never be able to resolve. If it is Pashu, without attending to my thought and emotions directly, I am impulsive in getting into action. That is animalic by nature. Human beings are given such a dimension or being created with such a dynamic force that we can reason, we can think, we have bhasha or we have language to express our emotions. What if we don't use that? What if you self-hurt yourself or create the self-hatredness towards your own self? Not others are doing it. Or what if you are blaming others for your actions? That is actually animalic. If you watch animal movie, you can see all these three. There are movies, beautiful movies that is being crafted, but the director may not know that this Siddhanta is there in the movie, but I see the supremacy, the egoistic character, the animalic character. Where does that come? It comes from our childhood wounds. And when it comes to pasha, attachment, I like this person, I want to have this person for life. So without my knowledge, I am torturing that person whom I love. So when it comes to introspection, this is the real life action that I am telling. But when it comes to introspection, as I said, my ego is a biggest obstacle. It will not let me get into the true insight of the introspection. And when it comes to the Pashu, my behavior will stop me. I will not have faith in the process. What if I think about my childhood? What will be okay? I need to think about what happens today. I'll go by facts. I'll question again the arguments. And pasha, how can I think?
Attachment to self or attachment to the
attachment to materials also.
Attachment to life.
Yes. So when we talk about Shiva Siddhanta, as I always say, Shiva is consciousness. Siddhanta is the doctrine of certain findings. So it is the consciousness doctrine that we cannot say it is full of facts. We cannot say it is something that a person can justify, experiment. It is not an experimental aspect. Siddhanta is forever.
It's factual.
It's factual, 100% factual. So when we study this, to gain that consciousness, introspection is necessary, but the process of introspection has to be guided. It is never to be forced without a support system. That's very dangerous.
So from your detailed understanding, what I understood is the definition of body is not what we see.
Yeah.
definition of body has a deeper understanding where it goes into different layers.
Good.
Correct?
Yeah.
Like what in our Siddhanta and Vedanta it is there, so Stula, Sukshma and Karana. How we treat our gross body, that is Stula Sharira, it has its impact on the deeper layer of Sukshma and Karana.
Correct.
Like unknowingly, if we wear a metal that is not prescribed or that is not beneficial or suited,
Correct.
it affects our entire being.
Yes.
And it affects the way we look at life, the way we approach ourselves and approach others in our life. So, when we say body talks, it does talk in different languages and it has its own language.
Yeah.
What is the language that we need to look for?
Yeah, maybe we can talk about it in our next podcast, bringing Surya Siddhanta in place, where we are going to talk about the 3 different layers in the body.
Yes, so as Asha ma'am has set the context for our next podcast, that is what body talks we have understood, how body talks we have understood, which language the body uses we will be understanding through Surya Siddhanta. And yes, with my little knowledge and little interaction with her, I can guarantee Surya Siddhanta is not we just see how it's about the sun that is shining bright. It is beyond. And yes, let's wait for Surya Siddhanta in our next podcast. Thank you.
Pranams.